Adventures of Harry Nile.
Back when I quit the Chicago Police Department, I didn't leave many friends behind. There was one sergeant, though, good stout German by the name of Manfred Klein, who shook my hand and told me he knew I was only doing what I'd been assigned to do when I turned in half of his precinct for taking payoffs. Fred Klein was a tough old street cop, and he always kept his nose clean. A few years later, I heard he'd retired, but I didn't have any idea he'd come out here to Seattle to live. Till one Monday around 3 o'clock, I got a call from his daughter, Margaret, and the news isn't good.
He wants to see you, Mr. Nile. He isn't very well.
Oh, I'm awful sorry to hear that.
I don't know how much longer... Well, he asked me to see if you could come over right away.
She gives me an address in an old neighborhood that's gone to seed. And at 5, I pull up in front of a small house that hasn't seen a coat of paint since the Great Depression. I pick my way through the weeds to the front door. When it opens, a woman in her 40s lets me into the living room that holds just a few sticks of rundown furniture. She's in slacks with a bandana tied around her hair, a carpet sweeper in her hand, and a weary look on her face.
Forgive the mess. I'm trying to hold down a job and keep house and play nurse all at the same time. Well, come on. He's down the hall.
She leads me to a tiny room in the back. A room with shades pulled down. A room so dark I can barely see the emaciated figure that's buried in a big leather chair. It's got to be 80 degrees in the room. But he's wearing a robe and a muffler. The robust, rosy-faced cop I remember from Chicago is no more. In his place, a wispy-haired, fragile old man. I would never have recognized Manfred Klein.
Dad! Harry Nile's here.
Harry Nile. Yeah, let me switch off the radio. You bring anything to smoke?
No, I swore off a couple of years ago.
Margaret won't let me have any. Says it's bad for my lungs. Shape I'm in wouldn't matter much. Sit down.
Can I fix you some coffee, Mr. Nile?
No, thank you, Margaret.
Well, I'll leave you two alone.
And shut the door on your way out.
Yes, Dad.
Yeah, Margaret's a fine girl, but I don't want her to know why I told her to call you.
Well, I'm glad she did call. I didn't know you were out here. It's great to see you.
Yeah, you still for hire?
Yeah.
Well, I want to hire you.
You do? What for?
It's my kid.
Oh, Margaret?
No, my kid, the cop. Fred Jr.
I didn't know you had a son on the force.
Chicago PD. That's his picture there.
Okay, well now, what about Fred Jr.?
They got him working undercover. That's dangerous duty.
Yeah, I know.
He used to write me, call me, and now he don't. I think he's been hurt, but he won't tell me. Maybe worse than hurt.
Nah. If he was hurt, the department would have gotten in touch with you right away.
The kid joined the force right after I took my retirement, 1946.
I'll bet you were proud.
Oh, he's going to make something of himself, Harry. He's that kind. But you know the force still. They take all you got to give and ask for more.
Well, Fred, do you know the name of his superior?
Nah, I know nothing. They won't give you nothing. That's why I think something's happened to him. They don't want me to know.
Well, it doesn't sound like department policy.
Harry, I want you to go and find out. Find out what's happened to my kid.
We're talking Chicago, Fred.
Yeah, I got my pension. A few bucks I saved. Here. You see that strong box?
Oh, where?
There, on that little table. Beside Freddie's picture.
Yeah.
Here.
Huh?
Yeah. Take this key.
Okay, yeah.
Open it up.
Okay.
Go ahead. Open it. There. Take what you need.
Fred, there's a lot of money in here.
Take what you need for the plane and the hotel room. Take 1,000. Take more. I don't care.
You said he wrote to you. Do you have any other letters?
Oh, every one.
Can I borrow them?
Sure. You'll find them in the bottom of that strong box.
And I might need his picture.
Oh, you have to have that too?
Well,
take it. Now, how soon can you leave for Chicago?
Well, I could...
Harry, I ain't got too long.
Cops have long memories. Maybe 1952 now, but if I start prying into police matters where I blew the whistle on a lot of brother officers a dozen years ago, I'm not going to get to first base. But what are you going to do when an old man is dying and he wants to find out about his kid, the cop? Back in my office, I give Murphy what I know, and I ask her to make some phone calls to Chicago first thing in the morning. I figure for a few measly long-distance bucks, I can save Fred the airline fare. But when I walk in the door at 9 a.m.,
don't say good morning, because it hasn't been.
What?
Those calls to the Chicago Police Department you wanted me to make?
Yeah?
Well, they treat me like I'm nobody.
Well, what happened?
They transfer me to personnel. They have no officer Fred Klein, Jr.
So you try Manfred
I
Klein?
tried Manfred, Manny, Freddie, everything but hey, you. They transfer me to records. There's no record of an Officer Klein except for Sergeant Manfred Klein, Sr., retired.
Yeah, that's his father.
The closest I got was a call to recruiting. I asked them if they saved an application by a Manfred Klein, Jr.
Okay, what'd they say?
Well, they said they don't give out that information.
You did your best.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harry.
It's okay. Looks like I'm going to have to hop a plane, and you know how I'm looking forward to that. A day later, I'm in Chicago at the address on Freddie's letters. It's an apartment on the third floor of an apartment house near Cicero. A mail drop. They forward mail to their clients. And no, they never reveal their clients' real addresses. 11:30 Central Standard Time. I'm at the Bureau of Public Safety's Records Depository on Delaware Street, bending the ear of a nubile brunette whose desk sign says Miss Dale. And that's as far as I get, her desk, while she rummages through the card files in the big case behind her. At last she returned.
Okay, I checked on Klein. That's Klein. Manfred Jr. I also checked on Klein. Fred Jr. I show nothing under either name. Maybe he spells his name
Hey, Susie, Braddock is waiting for those warrants. You got them yet?
Hey, tell him to keep his shirt on. I'm working on it.
Are you Kilmartin? Are you Pete Kilmartin?
Yeah. Son of a gun, Harry Nile.
I thought it was you.
Well, what are you doing on Delaware Street?
Just looking up a name, or I'm trying to.
What are you doing back here? I thought you went private in L.A.
Yeah, I did, and then I moved up to Seattle.
Seattle? Jeez, what a career move.
Yeah.
What do Eskimos need with a private dick? What do they pay you in, whale blubber?
Oh, I see you haven't changed. You're still a sensitive guy.
I haven't seen you since they run you off of the force. Well, I could have put that a little more delicately.
Nah, don't bother. Hey, maybe you could help me. Would you remember a sergeant in the 2nd Precinct named Klein, Fred Klein?
Klein the Kraut?
Yeah.
Sure, he retired a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. His son joined the force.
Did? I didn't know he had a son.
Well, Fred's not so healthy. In fact, he's dying, but he wants to...
I'm sorry to hear it. He was a good guy.
Well, he's not dead yet, and he'd just like to find out if Freddie Jr. is okay. Thinks he's working undercover. Might have gotten hurt or something.
So what did Susie find out for you?
Well, Miss Dale says there's no record of him.
Oh, come on. There's gotta be. Come on, Susie. Harry used to be one of us, in a manner of speaking.
I can't help it. There's no one listed as an officer under the name he gave me.
Okay, well, what about applications? I mean, he'd have had to fill out an app to apply for a police job. Fred said he joined in 1946.
Well, I could check.
Go ahead, Susie. It's almost time for Braddock to go on his usual 3-hour lunch.
I'll see what I can find.
So, how's business up in the frozen north?
Well, I'm still eating.
Yeah, I see you are.
Uh-huh.
Ever get married? I mean, again?
Nah.
Mine broke up since I seen you.
Oh, it's too bad.
Well, it is and it isn't. The freedom's wonderful. The alimony's lousy.
Yeah. You still working homicide?
Traffic.
Oh, what happened?
Politics. You know how it is. You, like being a PI?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah, I do. You get the feeling like you're actually helping people more than just filling out forms.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I stick because of the pension.
And because of the second salary, you still taking a few under the table?
Hey, your internal affairs boys never laid a glove on me.
Well, hey, I've forgotten everything I turned up in those days.
Yeah, but a lot of the guys haven't forgotten you.
I am very, very sorry, but there is no application under the name of Klein. Klein. Now, that doesn't mean he never filled one out. The only ones we keep on file are the applications that are accepted.
Hey, you know who you should talk to?
Huh.
You should talk to Lee Fichette.
Who's that?
Now, he's in charge of reviewing all the applications.
Was he doing that 6 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. He's been doing it forever. He's got a mind like a card file.
1946, you say?
That's right, Mr. Fichette.
And his father was a sergeant in the 2nd?
Yeah?
It does seem to ring a bell.
It does?
Yeah, well, there's an easy way to check it. I've always kept a daily schedule of appointments. And I file them under the year. Never know when you'll need to check back. Yes, here's last year's book. In 1950, 49, 48, 47. Yeah, here we go. If your man filled out an application to join the Chicago Police Department in 1946, and if I was the one who interviewed him, his name will be here.
I was never interviewed when I joined. I just filled out the application. I went home. One day they called me and said, come to work.
Yeah, mind you, by 1946, there were thousands of Chicagoland men coming back from the war looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Lots of military police and shore patrol personnel applying. If this Klein fellow had been... Wait a minute. Here we go. Klein, Manfred Jr., September 3rd, 1946.
That's him.
Oh, and I see I wrote rejected. Yeah, with an exclamation point.
Huh.
And I underlined it twice.
No. He did join. It's just they can't find his records.
Oh, no. That's very odd.
You don't suppose you could remember anything about the interview, do you?
Well, I'm just trying to think back. It may come to me. Why don't you tell me how I can get in touch with you if I should remember anything about him?
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, listen, I'm staying with one of my relatives on the south side. Here, let me jot down the number on one of my cards. There you go.
Fine. I hope I'll be able to help you.
Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Fichette.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What is it? You remember something?
Yeah, of course.
What?
The sergeant's son. I do remember that interview.
No kidding?
Yes, I'm recalling it vividly now. One of the standard questions we ask an applicant is why he wants to become a police officer. Yeah? And I remember this fellow said the city was filled with stupid people. Morons, he called them. Stupid morons. He wanted to wear a uniform and carry a weapon so he could control the stupid morons. He was an angry man, Mr. Nile. He wanted to join the department for all the wrong reasons. Anger, control, possibly even revenge.
And if Fred Klein never was a police officer, what kind of lie has he been living for these past 6 years? And how do I find him now? Wednesday at 9 in the morning, I take the photo downtown to the Chicago Central Police Headquarters and tell my story to the watch commander, a guy named George Tucker. He approves using it on a citywide wanted poster, and he puts out an all-points broadcast with Junior's description. I cool my heels in a visitor's chair. Then, just before 3 p.m., Tucker beckons me into his office. It's a glass cubicle in the corner.
You didn't mention you used to be a cop in internal affairs.
That made a difference?
Not to me. I wasn't working it in.
Well, how'd you find out?
Some of the old-timers in homicide perked up their ears when I told them where we got this information.
Well, nobody loves the IA.
Well, anyway. I've got some news already.
What, on Klein?
Could be. Last night we got 5 complaints from West Jamaica Boulevard about a cop stopping motorists and using abusive language. That's what they claim.
Huh. And if 5 people reported it, no telling how many more cases there were that didn't get reported. Anybody notice his badge number?
Nah.
Description?
White, tall, fairly young.
Hair color?
Dark. You know, for years there have been rumors going around about a rogue cop who's supposed to be operating all over the area, even down as far as Gary, Indiana.
What's he been doing?
Everything from harassment to physical assault.
You got a description?
He's white and he's young. That's all they can agree on. They say he threatens them, browbeats them. Some teenagers say he's assaulted them. There have been reports he's drawn his weapon and pointed at people as he pulled them over in his unmarked car. He may have a special thing about colored people.
And this has been going on for years, and you haven't any more than that?
Well, let's face it, no cop wants to turn on his brother cop. Present company accepted.
Yeah, thanks. So, are you going to send a car to the area tonight to look for him?
Can't spare the manpower. We're up to our ears.
Huh.
I don't know if this guy's your suspect or not, but he's a nutcake for sure.
Tucker lets me look at the complaint reports, and I note that last night's incidents all took place along a 2-mile stretch of Jamaica Boulevard, starting when it gets dark. Now the question is it Freddie, and will he be back at the same spot tonight? I jump in the car and head back downtown to the traffic division. And Pete Kilmartin is still there.
Harry, I don't see you for 10 years, and today I see you twice. Hey, it must be a full moon tonight.
Hey, listen, I want to thank you for referring me to Fichette.
Oh, you give me any help?
Well, now I know Freddie Jr. applied for police training and he was turned down.
That's so. He applied and they turned him down, huh? Well, then he never was a cop.
Wrong attitude. Like, he wanted to be the Avenger with a gun, that sort of thing. So, I brought his picture over here to Central, and I showed it to the watch commander, George Tucker.
I know Tucker.
Well, he tells me last night there were 5 citizen complaints about a cop who pulled him over on Jamaica Boulevard, got rough with him, cussed him out, made insulting remarks.
I'm always glad to hear our lads are doing their job.
So I'm going over to Jamaica tonight to see if he's still working that street. I thought, maybe, for Sarge's sake, maybe, you might want to come along and be some help.
Oh, geez, Harry, I'd love to, but I got a date.
Oh. Well, okay.
Wait. Why isn't Tucker sending some blue coats to catch this freak?
Not enough manpower.
Wonderful. Well, like I say, I'd love to help you out.
No. Forget it. I'll go by myself.
No, it's a police matter.
I know, but there's no police.
I'll tell you what I'll do. When are you going to be there?
As soon as it gets dark.
On West Jamaica, you say?
Yeah?
What are you going to do? Troll for him?
Yeah, if he's looking for sloppy drivers.
Yeah, run a few lights, kill a few pedestrians.
Yeah, and hope the real cops don't get me.
Don't worry. Tucker already told you they're too busy. Look, I'll call my lady friend and tell her I'll be a little late. I'll follow you around for a couple hours. How's that?
I'm parked on a side street just south of Jamaica Boulevard with Kilmartin behind me in his cream-colored coupe.
If I were this nudnik, I wouldn't come back to the same street 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, well, what else have I got? He apparently doesn't work any kind of pattern. I'm going to go east for a couple of miles. I'll turn around and I'll come back west. And you be a block behind me, so if I get pulled over by Junior, I'll flash my brake lights a little bit, and you can stop and nail him.
Or if the real traffic boys get you first, I'll just wave as I drive by. You sure you know how to drive, stupid?
Hey, it comes natural. So off we go. For 2 miles, I'm cheating the speed limit, changing lanes like a wild one, doing all I can to attract attention, all the time realizing that if a real cop stops me, there'll be no excuse. We make the 2-mile circuit again, and a third time. When I'm stopped by a light, Pete pulls up behind and rolls down the window.
I think you're pushing your luck. He's probably long gone.
Yeah, you're probably right. Look, there's another arterial 4 blocks up from here. Can we try that?
Camden Parkway? Okay, light's green. I'll follow you there.
Camden is a busy 4-lane highway that cuts right across the city. I turn left and start speeding around cars, and then all of a sudden a car comes up behind me with his high beams on, and he throws a red spotlight on me. I pull off onto a side street, not knowing whether this is a genuine cop or maybe Freddie. A tall, thin man in regulation dark blue gets out. His dangling handcuffs reflect my headlights. I glance one more time at the photograph on the seat beside me.
All right, I'll have those car keys right now.
Take the light out of my face, Freddie.
What did you say?
It's all over, Freddie.
I'm giving the orders, you dumb jerk. Got you on speeding, reckless driving,
Freddie, the game is all over.
What did you say?
It's all over, Freddie.
Giving the orders, you dumb jerk. I got you on speeding, reckless driving, and 101...
Freddie.
Reckless endangerment, failure to cooperate with an officer.
Freddie, the game is all over.
Stop calling me Freddie! Big trouble, but I guess you're too stupid to know it. Why are you pumping your brakes?
Because that's a genuine Chicago policeman pulling up behind us. He's going to want your gun and your badge.
I am a genuine Chicago policeman. Ha-ha! That car was a taxi, you moron! Now, give me those keys or I'll blow your head off! You think I won't?
No, Freddie, I think you won't.
I'm not Freddie!
Fred, then. Fred Klein, Jr. I'm a friend of your father, Fred. He believes you're a policeman, but he's worried about you. I came here to find you.
I'm going to kill you!
You ever killed anyone, Fred?
Only in the line of duty. Only the stupid scum who deserve to die!
Police, Klein! Hold the gun away from the man and drop it on the street! Do it now or I will shoot you!
You don't really know my father!
Sergeant Manfred Klein, retired from the 2nd Precinct. Now lives in Seattle with your sister, Margaret. Manfred Klein, who is a dying man.
He thinks I'm a policeman. He thinks I'm a police officer.
Yes, he does.
Drop the gun, Mr. Klein! If you do not drop the gun now, I will shoot you!
I can't let you tell him about me.
Maybe I won't have to.
That's why I have to do this.
Stop, Harry!
What are you going to say, Harry?
Wait a minute. Here comes Margaret.
Come in, Mr. Nile. Oh, and you must be Murphy.
Hello, Margaret. Last we meet in person.
I appreciated your phone messages from Mr. Nile.
I wish the news had been better.
So do I. Well, Dad's waiting. Shall I take you to him?
Yeah, you might as well.
I think he's been hanging on just to get your report. Well, here we go. Well, Dad, here's Mr. Nile and his partner, Miss Murphy.
Oh. Hang on now. I'll turn the radio off.
No, don't. It's okay.
Can't quite reach it today.
That's fine.
Well, did you see my kid?
Yes, sir.
Is he all right?
Yes, sir, he's fine.
They have him on undercover work.
Yeah, that's right. You were right all along. He's in deep cover. He said he was sorry that he hasn't called you or written you. He sends his love.
In deep cover. I knew it. He's a smart kid, Harry.
Unit 16.
He made it, Harry. He made it.
My Kid the Cop starred Phil Harper as Harry and Pat French as Murphy, and featured John Gilbert, Rick May, Catherine Odegaard, Cindy Reinhardt, Brad Perkins, Terry Rose, and yours truly, Jay Green. The program was written by Jim French and directed by Pat French, with sound effects created by Stuart Conway, Sean O'Meara, and Ben Peterson, and audio mixing by Peggy Stokes. Recorded before a live audience in Seattle. Jay Green speaking.